Welcome to Cash Chats, the podcast from BeCleverWithYourCash.com that helps you make the most of your money. I'm Andy Webb.
And I'm Amelia Murray. In episode 404, I'm chatting with Zoe, our senior writer, about eSIMS and how they could cut the cost of your mobile phone bill on holiday.
Meanwhile, I'm going to take you through the top cashback and reward cards for your spending. Plus, now that the sun has finally come out, I'm going to take you through how to get the best value for money on your sun cream and a hack to save money on free water refills.
Then we'll both take you through our deals of the week. This is episode 404 of Cash Chats.
So the sun finally seems to be shining here in the UK. Temperatures have finally sort of warmed up a bit. It feels a bit more like summer. I might be cursing us slightly, might be short-lived, and we're back to the rain. Obviously, it depends where you live. You might not have had too bad, I guess, over the last few weeks, or you might have been absolutely horrendous. But anyway, what I thought I'd do to celebrate this is to quickly talk about getting value for money from your sun cream and also how to save money on keeping hydrated. Both really, really important things to be doing when it is hot, when it is really sunny. Let's talk about sun cream or sunscreen, first of all, however you want to refer to it. You probably, when you buy this, you might look at the price. I'm sure you do. But the thing you probably pay most attention to is that big number on the front, right? The SPF, the sun protection factor. And that is really important. That protects you from the UVB rays. These are the ones that are most likely to cause you to burn. So really important you have at least factor 30 there. But that alone isn't what you should be basing your kind of decision on. You also need to be looking for something which protects you from UVA rays, and they're the ones generally around aging and things like that, damaging your skin still. The way you find out the protection there is around a star rating. You want at least 4 stars. It goes up to 5, I think. So really, you look at something, you want both of those. If you get one of them below factor 30 or below 4 stars, then it doesn't matter how much you spend. If it's cheaper, it's expensive, you're not getting value for money because you are not getting the protection that you need. So really important you look for both of those factors on there. Now, in terms of how much you actually spend, as long as it's got those two things, you might be thinking this is something where you want to spend more money, right? Because it's really important, isn't it? Your skin. You don't want to burn. You don't want to have potentially cancer longer term as a result of those burns. So you spend more money, you're going to get greater protection. It's going to work better. Well, probably not. So Which has done a team of people, they did 4 analysis every year. They do this. They look at the ones and see exactly which ones work best for you. And some of those big brands may not hit those levels that we talked about earlier on, or they might not even be as good, whereas some of the cheaper ones do a perfectly good job. Previously, they've talked about Boots, Nivea and Asda being relatively affordable. Superdrug and Morrison's doing well as well. The difference between the really, really cheap ones and maybe the really, really expensive ones is maybe they can be a bit greasy when you apply them to your skin, maybe, and the smell, maybe. But overall, I stick to, generally I go to Boots to get them when they're on an offer, 3 for 2, whatever it might be. And they do the job perfectly well, and I'm not breaking the bank there. But you might be happy with some cheaper ones. Just bear in mind those factor 30 at least, and at least 4 of those stars. That's what's really, really important. There's one more thing I want to talk about here when it comes to sun cream, because you might think buy in bulk, right? Buy in bulk, you get it, and you can last you for ages, and that's going to be great, and you will save money, because of course you do. The bigger the thing, not always, but most of the time, the bigger the packet you buy, the lower that cost per 100 mil or whatever it might be. And that is true as long as you use it normally within a year. On the back of, same for any kind of cosmetic and beauty product, right? On the back of the packet, you'll see a little jar, a little flat jar with a number in it. And normally for sun cream, that number is 12. And that basically means once you've opened it and started using it, you've got to use it within 12 months. Otherwise, it starts to lose some of the protection, some of the reason for buying it in the first place. So from that point of view, if you've got a big family and you're in the sun a lot, the big packs are probably fine because you'll get through them. You'll probably get through quite a few of them over the summer. Or if you don't go out so much, or you're on your own, or you have a summer like we've had so far this year where you've not been out so much, if you only get through half a pack or whatever, and to be fair, if you start in the beginning of the summer, you might get through one. It might be if you're buying a top up towards the end of the summer. But if you don't get through it all, and you don't use it again before that 12 months is up, it's a bit of a waste. So I actually tend to buy the smaller ones, because that works for me in the factor that I use and how often I use it. Of course, what you can also do if you are using it a lot is just buy the big ones and decant them into the smaller ones because they can be a bit more practical. But that's a really important to think about there, is that thing. Don't buy too much this year, have them all open and think you can use it next year, the year after. Absolutely stick to that limit. So that's sun cream. Hopefully that'll kind of sort you out over the next few weeks. But let's also quickly talk about water. Now, water is expensive, isn't it? I was the other day, had out and about, didn't do what I'm about to tell you to do, simply because I didn't expect to be out and about, and it was really hot. So I went into the supermarket and I bought a small bottle of water, and they have gone up so much, like everything has, right? But it's a small little Sainsbury's, but a small bottle of their own brand water was like 85p. But very easily, if you go into like a Smith's or any other kind of places, easily well over a quid. You're at a station, whatever it might be, just for a small bottle of water, a lot of money. So what do you do? Well, ideally, you take your own bottle out with you. Great for the environment and great for your pocket as well. So buy a nice, decent, reusable bottle. You can normally get them, shop around the sales and stuff. Decent ones for a tenner, which will keep going, will last, will keep it insulated, but you don't have to. You can buy cheaper ones, which still, if you're worried about these things, look like the plastic free and all of that. But get yourself a reusable bottle. And then when you're out and about, you can get it refilled. And you might think, oh, it's a bit awkward, I don't want to ask. But there is a hack for this. And it's to download an app called Refill. Download this app, and this will list you a load of places who are businesses, whether it's bars, restaurants, gyms, museums, anyone can join in with this, right? Where they will refill your water bottle, no questions asked. You don't have to buy anything. They'll just do that. Now, you might get someone a bit surly. You never know. I've had that in my experience. Sometimes people are a bit, don't want to do it. You're not buying anything, but generally they've signed up for it. And there's a good reason they're doing that. Obviously, is that trying to reduce the number of reusable single-use plastic bottles that are used out there. So do look for that app. If you haven't got the app, a lot of the big, there are chains, there are independents, but a lot of the places have a sticker outside. So that will help. But failing that, if there's nothing listed on the app, you can't see any of these stickers out there, just ask. And I'm sure a lot of cafes, coffee shops, places like that, as long as they're not too busy, they will be happy to refill you with some water just to keep you going. Again, that will save you a huge amount of money. Similar thing you can do at airports if you're going away this summer or any time around the year. Many airports, not all of them, but many airports also let you refill there. So you don't have to, again, buy a bottle. You can take an empty bottle free with you, even if it's not a refillable one. It could be in a plastic one you had before, but you can also refill that on the other side and avoid having to buy them again and again. Now, I've got more information about the app and all the other things I spoke about with the sun cream and the water over at becleverwithyourcash.com.
Summer is here, and if you've got a holiday booked, it's time to start preparing. Andy's done a holiday checklist, which you can find on the website. And today I'm with Zoe, senior writer at Be Clever With Your Cash, to talk about eSIMS. Hi, Zoe.
Hiya.
So in the past, anyone could use their mobile phone in one of 30 countries the same way they would at home. You get your UK allowance, your minutes, your texts and data to use abroad with no extra charges, as per EU rules, as long as you stayed within the fair usage guidelines. But since Brexit, many providers, including EE, Vodafone and Three, have brought back roaming fees. So could eSIMs be the answer? Zoe, tell us, what are eSIMs and why should people know about them?
So eSIMs are virtual SIM cards that you can add to your phone. They're most commonly used when traveling abroad to save you money on roaming fees. For example, on my recent 2-week trip to Spain, my partner spent £25 with EE to use his phone abroad. If he'd just used an eSIM instead, he could have dropped this cost to just £7.
So does it differ from country to country? Like when might people consider getting an eSIM?
So if you're with one of the big networks and it doesn't give you free roaming and when abroad, O2 is free in Europe, for example, it's definitely worth considering an eSIM. Certainly when traveling further afield, like the States or Australia, as these can rack up some really hefty charges. But for some trips to Europe, they can be beneficial. If you're going somewhere where you'll have Wi-Fi at the hotel, it may not be worthwhile. It all depends on how much you want to use your phone.
How much do they cost and where can you buy them?
So the cost varies depending on how much data you want or where you're traveling to. A week abroad can cost as little as £5. You can buy eSIMs online for data only. You can use Maya or Holofly. If you want a local phone number too, then you can use eTravel SIM, but this might cost a little bit more.
Okay, so tell us a bit more about how they work step by step.
So eSIMs are completely virtual, so you don't have to dig out a pin or earring to pop your SIM out of your phone. And then once you've bought it, you just install it in your settings. And you can sometimes have as many as 10 eSIMs installed, which is good if you're going to lots of locations. They're usually data only, so you don't typically get a local phone number, which means that calls will use your normal SIM.
Great. And big question as someone who has an old lady phone, can they be used with all phones and handsets?
I'm afraid not. So your phone has to have the technology to be able to handle eSIMs. If you've got an iPhone, then the XR model can use eSIMs, and any beyond that, the XR model was released in 2018. It's trickier to work out with Android devices. Newer Samsung Galaxy and Google Pixel phones can take them. If you just search the word eSIM in your settings, and if you have the related settings, then you can get one.
Right, so they're definitely out for me on my iPhone 7 Plus 2016 times.
I'm afraid so.
Ah, well. How do you set them up?
So if your phone can take an eSIM, then you first buy one online using your chosen provider. Then to set it up, you just need to find your eSIM settings where you'll be able to select add eSIM. There's a QR code that you scan, and then once installed, you can switch it on and off in your settings.
So, what are the alternatives to an eSIM?
So your alternative is to pay the network roaming charges with your provider. With EE, this costs £2.47 a day or £25 a month. O2 is free in Europe but costs £6 a day outside of Europe. Vodafone customers can expect to spend £2.25 a day in Europe or a massive £7.39 per day outside of Europe. You could also just buy a local physical SIM, but you'll need to swap it out as you use it unless you can have two SIM cards in your phone, which isn't very common. Alternatively, you can just opt to go off the grid for your holiday.
Great. Option C all round. So, overall, tell us, are eSIMs worth it and how much could you save?
So eSIMs might be a bit of an extra faff when you're preparing to go away, but they can save you a fair amount of money. For example, Vodafone customers can save more than £45 on a week abroad, so they're really worth looking into if you're going away.
Brill. Well, there you have it. Thank you so much for joining us today, Zoe, and for explaining everything we need to know about eSIMs. For more information, check out the full article on becleverwithyourcash.com.
Now, if you are watching this on YouTube or listening on YouTube Music, to get the section where I talk about the best reward and cashback cards, just click the link above to watch that separate video, or just head to our homepage and you'll find it there. Right, let's end up episode 404 with our deals of the week. First of all, a quick heads up on a deal that is ending very, very, very soon on the 30th of July, which is Tuesday. So you haven't got much time for this. This is the Club Lloyds bank switching deal. Now, I've covered that in more detail on the pod, on YouTube, and over on the website. So you can get all the details there. But if you are keen to get hold of it, today's the last chance to start the switch. You've got more time to meet all the other criteria. What I will say, though, is I'm expecting, I can't guarantee it, but I'm expecting a Halifax switch to start in the next couple of weeks. Now, it might not happen, and if it does happen, it might not be as much money. It might be more, but if you've already done a switch with Lloyds, you won't be able to do a switch with Halifax. So it's up to you whether you go for this one or hold fire. I've also seen rumours that the first direct switch is due to finish this week as well, but that one does often come back. I've not seen it confirmed from them yet, but there's potential that one's going to go. So if you were keen to get hold of it, then maybe give that a shot as well.
Brill. So my deal, my next one is Be My Eye, which we did actually mention on the last episode. So this is a smartphone app. It's kind of like mystery shopping. So you do small tasks for a fee. I actually managed to download it because last week I couldn't get it to work with the geolocation, but I finally managed to get it working today. And there's all sorts of tasks in my location. So it depends on where you live. For me, there was quite a few of these taking photos of menus in independent cafes, but also one in Starbucks. So all around the area, and it was paying £2.49 just to take a photo. So it's quite good, quite easy with those tasks, but there are some more arduous ones. I think there was one like you do a tomato audit in a supermarket. So yeah, like take a picture of 28 tomatoes for not a lot of money. So yeah, I mean, pick the good ones. But it's usually between £1 and £4 for these small tasks. And you can also get a £1 bonus with our referral code on the website.
Yeah, I actually gave this a go at the weekend when my niece and nephew were visiting. And it was pretty simple. You have to be actually at the place when you activate the offer, and you have to take a picture of the outside of the restaurant and then the menu straight away when you do that. Now, I did that on Saturday. It's now, lunchtime on Monday we're recording this. Haven't had the money come through yet, so hopefully I've done it right. But yeah, I agree with you. It's well worth giving this one a go because it seems little effort for a not too bad amount of cash if you're out and about in town anyway. Obviously, school holidays are out as well, so there are a number of different deals out there. A good one is for 50% off tickets to any English heritage site via Asda Rewards. You need to sign up for that, but that's free, and then you can click through and get a link. Obviously, that's for adults as well as kids, so if you are going out for the day or two, that's a good little saving. And I want to quickly just tell you about a little hack that we're currently writing up right now. Nikki's going to do an article at some point this week, which you'll be able to find over on the website. But this is a hack to get access to Money Supermarket's Super Save Club without having to take out an insurance policy with them. Basically, what you need to do is sign up for their credit monitoring service. That's free as well. Basically, you get the credit score. You check your credit score. That's all it is. It's not going to impact your credit report in any way. You don't even have to use the service. But if you do that, you get access to this Super Save Club, number of different features. But the one that's interesting right now is there are free tickets to a number of attractions. Sometimes it's going to be a bit restricted. Again, we're going to share more detail in the article very, very soon. But it does include like a free ticket to London Zoo, for example. Only one ticket, but of course, if there's two of you and you both sign up, then you'll both get access. You'll be able to get 2 tickets, and all you have to do then is pay any extra ones for anyone else who's coming with you. So that's definitely worth a look.
Another deal for the school holidays, especially if you're a theatre lover. This is a reminder about Kids Week. So this is free theatre tickets in the West End, so including shows like The Lion King, Matilda, Mrs. Doubtfire. You get free tickets for kids with any paying adult, as long as they're age 17 and under. And you can also get 2 kids tickets half price as well. The tickets went on sale last month, but the shows that are involved in the promotion started last week, and it's actually on not for a week, but until the 6th of September. So yeah, if this is up your street and you want to treat the kids, then yeah, this is a really good deal for you.
And finally, just a quick heads up here. The Bank of England's Monetary Policy Committee are meeting again this Thursday on the 1st of August to decide what to do with the base rate. At the moment, it's not looking likely that we will get a cut, but it's not out of the question. It could happen. And if that does happen, then obviously we're going to see cuts to savings rates. So if you are looking to get the best possible rates right now and you can lock your money away, it might not be a bad couple of days just to get those best rates. And in fact, once you've opened those accounts, you've normally got about 14 days to add your money. So you could open one up, see what happens. If things don't change, you don't have to add the cash. We've got a list of the best ones over at becleverwithyourcash.com/savings. And we will, of course, give you an update of what happens on the podcast, on the YouTube channel, and over at the website as well. Well, that is it for this week. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Andy Webb.
And I'm Amelia Murray. This is Cash Chats. We're back with our look at the top money stories on Thursday on YouTube and Friday on all podcast apps.
We'll see you then.
Bye.